Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader, to TechTrader.com. It's Tuesday, February the 20th. And these are the charts of the day. Well, I would say difficult day on Wall Street today. The market was mixed. NASDAQ was strong most of the day. The Dow was down 250 points. It was extremely weird. And the technicals weren't good, even on NASDAQ, where the NASDAQ 100 was up. And that was because several of the large NASDAQ 100 components had big days. But let's focus in on some of the stocks, long and short, that we want to give you a look at today. CRNT, one of our swing trades, and looking good coming out of a base here. After the pullback, it's now ramped up 3 days in a row, with today's volume increasing to 1.6 million, and you can see OBV moving strongly. I think this stock has some pretty good chance that if it gets to 295.3 here, it's going to be 350.60 range short term. Well, big move today on former swing DQ. You remember we put it out there and it ran up and then came back down again. Well, this Chinese semiconductor exploded, in particular today when it jumped 824 or 15.5% on 620,000, which is the best volume in about 6-7 weeks. Underlying technicals aren't great, but it still might be a massive head and shoulders. But if we can get this up through, and this will be what we're watching tomorrow, through like the let's call it 66 range, this may start running again and get up into that low 70s. But stay tuned, we'll find out. DRNA broke out of that wedge I showed you over the weekend, and then today extending a little bit again, up $1.19 or another 11%. Volume picked up to the best in 4 weeks. This looks like, although it's at resistance, it may extend towards the 14 range. GTXI broke out of the flag we showed you over the weekend as well. That thing is extended by about $1.16 or 7.5% today on 1.6. On low volume of only 160,000. It's a very thinly traded stock, but you can see on the up days it's had some good volume coming into it, or at least an increasing volume. My target at the top of the channel has to be over 20 on this one. And junior biotech favorite HTGM popped up and made a new high for the run and then backed off. Net it was only up 7 cents. That's disappointing, but I think overall with the OBV moving up and the technicals looking good, this stock is headed higher. 6.5, 7, 7.5, et cetera, coming up. MIME up $1.09. I like the way that looks. It's broke out, pulled back, and it's broken out again. Watch this one carefully, because above the 35 area we can see 30, close to 39. MuleSoft. Well, after the explosive move Friday today, it had a nice follow-through session. Not a big one. It did pull back from 32, but I got to tell you that having gone from 22 to 32 that quickly, this stock is definitely due for a pullback consolidation, and it's a bit overbought short term, but great momentum and new all-time highs. PGTI broke out as well over the January double top. And if you take a look at this pattern overall, you can see this is also pressing all-time highs up here. The extension could take it to 19. Day trade Roku had a good day today, and it popped 305 or 6.34%, excuse me. It just looks to me like we're headed for a test of this triple top up here near 59. That'd be my short-term target. Teladoc broke out across the triple top and then backed off. Now, I put a swing on it today. I like the look of it. I still think, or should I say, it updated my old swing. And so for me, I reiterate swing. That means a new swing to 44.5. Eventually, this could be much higher, as it looks like a stock that's on its way after going through about 7 or 8 months of consolidating. This looks like it's on its way here, as I said. Well, recent stock of the day, UIS, which broke out there and then had that engulfing bar, has been up now for about 7 days in a row. No, it's more than that. 10 days in a row. Every day for the last 2 weeks, the stock's been up, and it is in a resistance zone, and it's about to fill the gap. There is some potential that if it does rise beyond that, this could get up to 13.5 or even 14. But for now, immediate targets 12.5, and then longer-term targets 15. Another good day for Viking. It wasn't huge, but up about 26 cents or 4%. It backed off this declining top line, or should I say the wedge pattern. Nevertheless, I like the overall look of this one too. At some point, I believe this is headed out as a breakout to 8. That's my near-term target. My secondary target's $10. Big day for Voyager with a gap in a run. The stock was up 430 at 22% on 1.3 million. It looks great. If we can get it up towards 26, that we may get it up to 30. Old favorite Wi-Fi, which we gave you back in here, continues to trend and push and consolidate and break out again. May have broken out today. As it popped another 91 cents or 3.5%. You can see this is the highest close maybe all-time high close. Let's see. Indeed, many, many years ago. Highest level ever. And I think, based on this pattern, that this stock is probably a good swing for an extension up towards the 31, 32 zone. And finally today, little junior oil Zion, which had that explosive move in May, June, July, and then took many months to come back down and consolidate, based out, and then broke out. But the wedge that broke, that was set up 2 days in a row with 2 consecutive inside days, may have been broken to the upside today. Although volume wasn't huge, it was still 3 million. In any move across 485 or so, we can get it to 5.5 and even 6.5. That's a look at some of the longs, and a few of the box of shorts I think are worth checking out. AEIS, bear flag forming. And to me, if it fails in that zone, it's going to roll over and get down towards 56, 57. Keep an eye on that one for entry opportunity. ALBE, same thing. ALB, Albemarle, up to 34, but right into a rising wedge. And I don't think it's going to get past 118, 19, 20 zone. And so I'm looking for rollover to test the low 100s and eventually 90. Guess broke its bear wedge today and may be headed much lower. If it breaks 14, I'd look for 12 and 10. Heska, after showing you the bear wedge here and the bear flag there, it just rolled over and got slam dunked from the mid-80s to the high 50s. And now it's bear flagging yet again. Based on that bear flag, and it may last another week or two, I'd look for that stock to roll over into the mid-40s. Current swing short Nutrisystem is continuing to drift lower, even though this recent little bounce formed a rising wedge today. It had an engulfing bearish bar down 130. I would look for at least 39, and then I'd look for 35. PC Mall just keeps falling and falling and falling. It's amazing, folks. Ever since we put it out last May in the 20 range, it's dropped down to under 8, and it's still dropping. I'm not so sure where this might go, but I would look for about 5 3/4, 6. PLAY, that's Dave & Buster's. We've been short since that area, and then it ran back up again and rolled over again. It's a big wedge. If the wedge breaks 43 and a half, I'm looking for something around 39. An old short favorite, Red Robin Gourmet, may be falling again. Today dropped to $1.35 and it's right near support. Any movement under 51 or so, we could see that stock in the mid-40s. Sun Hydraulics, a new stock I added last week, came down and formed a bear wedge. Today it might have reversed. It's down $1.34. You could see the gap resistance right there, and the wedge may be breaking. Some minor support at the recent pullback low at 50.69. My target's now 44.5. And finally, Tractor Supply, after rolling over from mini head and shoulders, has formed a bear flag, might be coming down. 60, the little double bottom at 63.5, if taken out, could lead to something in the mid-50s. That's the long and short of it tonight. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Good evening.